in the democratic process is to me blatantly anti-democratic and unfair. Now, I am more than aware, I'm very good in arithmetic, and I am more than aware that our path toward victory is a narrow one. I accept that. And that's why we're going to fight as hard as we can here in Pennsylvania, 4 other states. And next Tuesday, I think we have a good chance to win some of those states. And I would just conclude by saying, when we began this campaign, I was 65 points behind Secretary Clinton in national polls. Last couple of weeks, some of the polls had me up ahead by a few points, had her up ahead by a few points. We have come a very, very long way. And it is important that the people in every state in this country have a right to determine what agenda they want the Democratic Party to push for, and I intend to allow that to happen.
Do you intend to have, what sort of role do you intend to have at the convention?
Well, I hope to accept the nomination. That would be the role. I'm looking forward to getting a really good nominating speech. If that does not happen, we will have, impossible to predict, we have 1,200 delegates as of today. That number obviously will go up. So we'll have 40, 45%, whatever, of the delegates at the convention. And I would hope that our delegates, plus some of the progressive delegates that Clinton may have, will fight for a platform that speaks to the needs of the middle class and working families, that demands that the Democratic Party take on the 1%, take on Wall Street, and create a government that works for all of us and not just wealthy campaign contributors.
And these are things that you've said throughout your your time as senator. Was there anything that has surprised you in this campaign? Any stories that you've heard that you hadn't heard before?
Yeah.
Meeting people, things like that.
Yeah, I really have. I mean, I love my state. I'm very proud to represent Vermont in the United States Senate. I've done that for over 9 years now. But when you get around the country, you see things, you hear things that you were not as aware of as you should have been. Just the other day, campaigning in New York, I was in Brownsville, New York. I was at the housing projects there. They're falling apart. They're literally deteriorating because of inadequate funding. You have unemployment rates of 30, 40, 50% in those African-American neighborhoods. You have too many of those kids not going to college but going to jail. You have recreation buildings which are literally bolted up. Kids can't get into playgrounds, can't get into community health centers, community centers. That's what I just saw 2 or 3 days ago. Why is that happening in the richest nation in the history of the world? I was in Flint, Michigan. I talked to parents whose children have been poisoned by the water that they're drinking. That's a problem not just in Michigan, it's a problem right near here, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Where we have poisoned water. Why is that happening in America? I was in Arizona talking to young Hispanic kids, tears rolling down their eyes in fear that their parents might be deported. We can do better than that. We can pass comprehensive immigration reform. I talked to too many young people who are paying off student debt for year after year after year, greatly impacting their lives. Why are kids graduating college $30, $50, $70,000 in debt when we should be encouraging young people to get the education they need, not penalizing them? I mean, so when you run for president, it's an amazing experience talking to people, talking to Native American people, hearing what's going on reservations in Native American communities. So it's been just an eye-opening experience, and I've enjoyed it immensely.
It's been an eye-opening experience for the younger people too, who seem to be more in charge and more involved, and will continue.
Absolutely, and I should have mentioned that. Thank you. I mean, it is enormously gratifying to me. As of now, we have talked to. We have, if you want the documentation, we'll give it to you. We have every event that we've done. We have now spoken to more than 1 million people in events like this from the early start of our campaign. And when the campaign began, I think the general punditry thought was that, well, young people, they don't vote, they're not interested in politics, they're interested in their video games or partying or whatever it may be. Turns out not to be the case. That a significant number of the people who have come out to our rallies, who have participated in the movement, are young people who are determined to play a role in helping to shape the future of this country. And that has been I think, really enormously important for the future of our country. They are the future of our country, and it's imperative that they do get involved. But it's also been very gratifying for me personally to see so many young people standing up and willing to fight back. And I would also conclude by telling you this, that if you look at all of the polling, you look at the exit polls, we are doing much better than Secretary Clinton, not just among the very young, not 20-year-olds. We're doing better among 45, 50-year-olds and younger. That is the future of this country. That is the future of the Democratic Party. And if the establishment thinks that they can ignore what these young people, and by young again, I don't mean just 20-year-olds, what younger people in this country, in their 40s, in their 30s, are saying, they will be making a tragic, tragic mistake.
Thanks.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator.